So when Logitech, who make the mouse, asked me to do all the stuff and prove that it was fucked, they were like, all right, cool, it's fucked. So we'll send you out a new one. You don't have to send us your one back. But what we are going to require is for you to film yourself destroying it so that we know that you haven't just tried to keep a duplicate. So basically they know that you're not trying to fuck them over. So I got to film myself putting a power drill through my fucking mouse. It was fucking great.
Are we going to roll for initiative?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Ooh, I got a 16 today.
Ooh, 19.
5. I'm fucking
Jesus
dunzo.
Christ. Just run the fucking show, why don't you, Brady?
I was like...
He's not been in a row. It's
Next
been
week?
a few, hasn't it?
Yeah, next week
Yeah.
is going to have to be disadvantaged. 2 rolls.
That
Take
makes
rolls.
sense,
No,
actually, if you...
To be honest,
I think about
Brady
3 or
rolling
4.
a dice in general, that's a disadvantage.
That's a disadvantage, absolutely. Yeah.
It should be, and yet the
Continue
last few
riding
weeks
this
it's
fucking
like-
high, because it's not going to last.
Yeah.
Welcome, Basement Dwellers, to another episode of Basement Discourse. I am Brady, your anime person. We got Jace, your gamer, and Justin, who likes to roll dice and pretend it's a thing.
Hello.
You saw from the title of the video, obviously we are talking about the absolute state of gaming journalism.
Correct.
Guys?
Yes, we are.
We've all seen these articles. They pop up on social media a whole bunch. It's usually terrible lists. I think that's the most common. There are other things, but usually like game-specific things. But I see a lot of terrible fucking lists. I've compiled my own list of terrible
think that's
stuff.
targeted though.
Yeah,
Because I didn't get a whole lot of... Like, there were some lists, don't get me wrong. But I didn't get a whole lot of lists, which makes me think that you are looking at more lists than you
You're a
lead
list
on.
guy. You're a fucking list guy. You like seeing a top
I know
100 of whatever.
He probably has fucking those tier list videos on his fucking YouTube favorites.
I reckon back in the day it would have been like, what Dolly magazine character are you or something, and you would have been all those little fucking tests at the back, and then it's just grown from there. Now it's like top 10.
He's totally a Dolly
fingernail
reader
painting
too.
techniques.
I can't live without doing the flow chart that's like, which Final Fantasy main pro tag are you like?
Oh Jesus!
You're Prompto.
Yeah.
100% you are just Prompto.
I wish I knew what the fuck you guys are talking about, but I'm sure it's a mad stab. So
It's-
kudos.
Play Final Fantasy 15 for
Oh,
20
yeah.
minutes.
I'll get right on it.
20 minutes and just listen to Prompto. It's just Brady.
Yeah, right.
It's
That's annoying
annoyingly
as fuck.
accurate now that I think about it.
I
And I don't
was
like
actually thinking about this playing it today. I was like, it's fucking Brady.
You're
Just
like,
the
I
random
know why I don't like
says.
this fucking game.
Yeah. Fucking hate it. Too much Brady in it.
All right, so we roll for initiative for who's hosting the show. Should we roll for who's bringing up their first article?
I only
Let's just
have
do
like
that.
one, so
Well then, fuck, you better get a high roll, buddy.
all right.
12.
13.
So I didn't.
Jason
Fuck
is.
it. All right. So the first I'm going to start with is not inherently an article directly. So what I'm going to start with is a type of article that I have seen just bombarded everywhere. And that is where to pre-order X. And they turn
Oh, I
this
came across
into an
these.
entire fucking article.
Yeah,
What a
yeah.
waste of fucking internet bandwidth to tell someone where to buy a video game. If you cannot figure out where to buy a video game, just fucking hang up your mouse and walk out the window. You're
And the
done.
worst part is,
Yeah.
at the end of all of them, because all of these are American articles too, it's Amazon, GameStop, and like Walmart.
Best Buy, I think,
Pretty
is
sure.
usually the third one.
Yeah, agreed. And then like you're like, okay, well this is targeted marketing coming to an Australian for one. And so we read this article for whatever reason we do, and then it points us to all these American websites anyway. Like,
Well,
God
I
damn it.
can buy from Amazon. And
I mean, yeah, we can all buy from Amazon, but it doesn't mean it's the cheapest version of that.
no,
price,
definitely not.
you know?
And like
No.
that, and like games journalists should not
so I've
be
seen a
endorsing
few.
the whole pre-order fucking
Yeah,
bullshit anyway.
what's frustrating is that it's just them getting some payoff from whatever company it is, and it's just so like flagrantly obvious at that point that they're just getting panned out. Like it used to be snide comments and little remarks here and there to sort of sully the competition, and then they'd probably get some under the table deals. But this is just like.
Yeah, the example that I actually
I feel
screenshot
like
in
they
my
should
little
just
doc.
put it on the article and just be like, Xbox paid us to say that you should buy this from here. Like,
Well,
you know?
that's what the internet tried to do with the endorsement of that, hashtag ad thing, where you're supposed to disclose if you're advertising. But games journalism's a bit of a fucking crapshoot and has been a very sold out sort of thing. Like, there's been some real dodgy shit going on over the years, but I won't delve into the like really old school stuff because people know a lot of the notorious stuff.
They do. It's kind of old news. But I think a better article would be where not to buy this from. And it'd just be a list of like the shittest places to go, like EB Games,
I
to
would
get a physical copy of a fucking game.
I would
You know what I
actually
mean?
like. I would read an article that's like, don't buy from this place for this reason, or like even if it's like a new release
the guy
PC
at the
game,
local
right?
EB Games is a prick. Don't buy anything from him. I'd be like, sweet, that's very targeted. I like it.
I
That's
was more
helpful. I'm
thinking
ready.
like if it's like, let's say a digital only PC game, and you can buy it on Epic, Steam, and GOG, for example. So they're three different platforms, and they're like, don't get it on Steam because Steam unlocks 6 hours later, or don't get it on Epic because they don't have the pre-order bundle for, Dave's cock
hell
veins. You
yeah,
know?
that would be way better because everyone needs Dave's cock veins in their life.
Yeah, absolutely. Brady's already got his pre-order in.
Mate, it's been in for months. I got the deluxe edition digital.
With pubic
He's
mount
been in it for 9
customization.
months. He's getting the one where.
No, so I have seen
He's
these though,
gonna be
and they
born
are
with it.
ridiculous. Because I got one the other day for Spider-Man 2.
Mhm.
And that's coming out real soon. And it's just like, where do you want to pre-order it? And like, right at the bottom, after all the places you get the physical one, it's like, or just the PlayStation Store. Because it's PlayStation exclusive. So it's like, what the
Christ.
fuck? What is the point of this?
Fucking hell.
But that's what I think is really dumb in a digital age. Like on PC, I could sort of understand because there's some CD key websites and stuff, but that's usually considered kind of fucking dodgy.
Yeah.
Whereas, like if you just list the actual stores, like in the digital age, it's like, here's your 3 choices, get fucked. Like, everyone knows where to buy video games, and if you don't, it's your first video game, and how
feel
did you
like
end up on this
the
website?
time it takes to have
I wanna
read
know-
one of these dumb, really like long articles, you could have quite literally just looked on the 3 different places you can buy the video game and worked it out yourself anyway.
Yeah.
These articles are so long-winded. They're like, back when I was a kid, games used to come in cartridge form. But we'll leave that story for another day. But anyway, in the story of cartridges, and then they just continue. And you're like, what the fuck am I? What? And
I
then
have a
they
decent
finally get to
amount
the
about
point.
that in my articles discussions. Because what I did,
Go to it.
Yeah, bring up your first.
I
mate.
grabbed a
Yeah.
I grabbed a word count of the articles I've picked.
Ooh,
Spicy.
that's the
So
next
I've
level
got
shit.
2, and I want you guys to guess which article belongs to which word count. So we'll play a game out of it. Why not? So I've got 4 articles. The first one: can you get a shiny Paris in Pokemon Go? How many endings are there in Final Fantasy 16? WandaVision, what happened to White Vision? Because that was on a gaming website. This isn't one of the ones that's like Kotaku. This was, I think it was like Gamer Rant. So I was like, well, that's bullshit. I'm grabbing that.
Get green screen, fuckwit.
And Baldur's Gate 2 is the most important game you shouldn't play in 2020.
I saw that.
I did read the article and I have some shit to say about it. But I'm going to give you some numbers and I'm going to go up and down on the list so you can't tell which one was where. And I want you guys to tell me which article was which numbers. So I've got 859 words, 1,195 words, 234, and 248.
I think the most
So
words is
that
Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy just, you guys don't shut the fuck up about it.
So you're
It's
betting on
it's
that.
the only video
Do you
game
wanna-
that
do you wanna put
Brady's ever
another bid?
played, so it's all I can bring
Yeah,
in.
this is true.
Do you want to put another bid in for another one?
I'm thinking the lowest one is going to be Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
I think
So
the second highest will be Baldur's Gate, and then it'll be like the other two. Pokemon one or whatever.
I think you're essentially both wrong on all accounts.
Now, get
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't that cool. So the Paris, how to get a shiny Paris one shit me for multiple reasons. This article was 248 words.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, the article was, can you? The answer is yes.
Oh, good.
That should have been
248
8 words?
words to say yes.
But I mean,
And essentially they
it's
go
not
through
really an
the
article,
history
they
of the
just say
Pokemon.
yes.
This is
it's
not
just a Google search.
Yeah, like,
it's
could you
not a
imagine my
special
dagger
Pokemon by any
runs?
means. I actually have no idea how they've pulled out Paris. It's not popular right now for any particular reason. Like, I feel like they just randomized the first 150 because they're the most popular and just picked one out. Because they give you the history of Paris, what it looks like, then no specific reason why they've chosen it, and just, yeah, you can get it. There's like a 1 in 500 chance. Wander around all day.
Yeah, so Paris
250
is
words,
a
pretty
shit Pokemon, and I have zero interest. Like, I used to think it was kind of cool because it was, like, in the original games, it was a little difficult to get your hands on. Like, it was the less common cave-dwelling Pokemon towards the start. So I didn't mind it for that aspect. That is literally the only reason you would ever get that fucking Pokemon. It's shit.
How many endings are there in Final Fantasy 16? 234 words. Answer?
Oh.
1.
Oh.
Why
That's
would there
the
be
answer.
multiple? Why would there be multiple endings in a Final? I guess maybe if it's really open world.
Nah.
Fair enough.
Doesn't,
God
nah.
knows.
It's not. It's, we'll get to it when we do a full discussion episode. That's a bit foretelling for everyone, although it's probably out by the time this comes out. Of
2024.
a review with Final Fantasy 16. But trust me, it's a one-play story. Like, it's very classic Final Fantasy style. That's all I'll say for now. Like, it's not.
Fuck you! I'll
not
replay
gonna
the
be
shit
multiple
out of the
endings.
classic Final Fantasies.
Definitely. WandaVision, what happened to White Vision? Now, this article shit me beyond the wall because it was on a gaming fucking site. Like, this was not one of the ones that are like all pop culture. This was Gamer Rant.
Mm-hmm.
859 words to say no one knows.
Yep.
He
Classic.
flew off at the end of this. Yeah, multiple episodes in the series. They recap the entire show, like 20-something fucking episodes. They recap in all these words to then end it with, and he flew off, hasn't been seen in any movie or anything yet.
Good. Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah,
So, One Division recap is what it should be called.
that's, yep.
Yeah. Just what happened in
Baldur's
One
Gate
Division.
2 is the most important game you shouldn't play in 2023. Now, I'll say this person was the best writer of the 4 articles I picked. Not a high bar, but probably the best writer. It was still the heftiest article at 1,195 words, and he flip-flopped backwards and forwards over whether you should play the game or not.
That's kind
his
of
most
what I would
important take-
expect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In
so
the end, the last few
clickbait
things
article
said,
with no
I
actual
say,
expression
don't
of-
bother, but if you can't resist, enjoy.
So
then a
literally
bunch about-
no fucking answer, just on the fence.
He
He's
had
just waiting for
a
someone
little
to tell
bit about
him.
how...
This guy has written this
He had a-
article and he's like, I don't know, should I fucking play it? I'm gonna write this article and then just see what the comments are, and then I'll decide.
feels-
People need to make up the
It
decision
feels
for
like
me.
a moment in his brain of back and forward
Yeah, he
instead
couldn't
of a
decide. He was
well-written
waiting for people to
article.
write back and just tell him.
Yeah, he
if
was
we
waiting
should
for the
actually
comment
fucking play it or
section.
not. Yeah.
He talks about one specific game mechanic at one stage that was to do with Advanced D&D 2nd Edition. The THACO, which is an abbreviation for the most annoying RPG rule I've ever internalized. The to hit a armor class 0. Apparently you needed to know how that works to play Baldur's Gate 2.
That is a lie.
Which is yeah. It's a really bizarre article where he talks about how complicated it was. However, 90% of it you don't need to play 3, but 10% of it you do. But also don't play 2. But also if you play 2, have fun.
Yeah.
It's a fucking weird article. I was like, if you brought up a few points and were like, here's cons and pros, I'd be like, all right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But he didn't do that. He just like was like,
Went
do
back
whatever
and
you
forth.
want. Who cares what I think? And you're like, I'm
Fucking
reading your article.
bipolar articles.
So, like-
Jesus. Wow.
It was whack.
Well, while we're on the
Real
topic
whack.
of Baldur's Gate, I should say, that was the one article that I could find that really kind of pissed me off. And it wasn't really the content of it. The content was like, yeah, all right. But it was just the title. Just annoyed me because it's just saying it's something that it isn't. So the title is Massive Win for Single-Player RPGs as Baldur's Gate 3 smashes Steam records, dethrones CSGO. So one...
Is it not an MMO?
No. No,
Oh.
it's just an online co-op. So you can play with friends. The whole advertisement behind this was get your party ready or something like that. So, that is
So that would
completely
be an MMO.
false.
Yeah.
I mean, you can play it single player, but it is not a single player RPG of sorts, you know what I mean?
It's sort of like it is very close. It's D&D. Like it is literally set in their world.
Like, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
So
It is Baldur's Gate in D&D.
it works in that concept, right? So
Yeah.
you can play it as like by yourself, but that's going to be kind of boring. Playing with friends is going to be the best experience.
It'll be the greatest experience, and this is definitely designed around the idea of playing with friends, more so than yourself. But entirely, it works exactly the same. It's just I feel like it's very cumbersome playing 4 characters on your own, and remembering everything that comes with those characters is quite a lot. So having 4 players playing together, that's amazing. So, and then the other part of it is that he said that it smashes Steam records and dethrones CSGO. But then by the end of the article, he goes, well, it's not there yet.
What?
Yeah. So it hasn't actually got rid of Counter-Strike just yet. It's still higher than it at the moment.
But like,
it's nearly there.
So I would like to double check something because like the thing is, CSGO came out in 2012.
Yeah.
CSGO is literally one of the most popular first-person shooters to ever exist.
Yeah, it's insane. I don't like it.
And like,
fan,
there are like things about that game, like you can buy and sell skins and shit for weapons that are worth like thousands of dollars. Like, there is a whole bunch of shit that goes on with that game. And the people who are fans of it are rabid. Like, I remember playing it with a mate, and we were playing competitive, and he was second highest rank you can be in CSGO. I was unranked and not very good at the game. I probably would have been in one of the lower tiers. Anyway, there were people that were literally, like, berating us or berating me because I wasn't good enough. And like they're like ridiculous and they're very passionate about what they do. So a game that is 11 years old and has such a passionate fan base, I severely doubt it is going to be beaten by an RPG in a week.
Yeah. Well, it's close-ish. Like, he's not wrong. I think it probably will actually get there, but it's not there now. And so saying it's dethroned already is absolute bullshit. I think they had 860,000 current players, and
Oh, but that's so
Um,
current players.
24-hour
Yeah,
peak
current
for
players
CS:GO
is different.
is
The
1.2
framing there
million.
made it sound like of all time downloads or something.
Yeah, no,
whereas
they're talking about current
you're
players
talking about
and
current
peak
players?
Yeah, so a massive all-time peak for CS:GO is 1.8 million. So, and I think where are we with Baldur's Gate? We're at about 800,000 at the moment. So at us,
Yeah, that's going to peter off.
Yeah,
So-
but
I wouldn't say it's going to continue its momentum.
I think it's going to continue to climb because PS5 sees the release in about a month. So you're going to see another boost.
Yeah, but that'll
You're
be a
gonna see a real
peak,
good boost.
and then
so
Then Xbox gets it after that. So there'll be peaks the whole way through. And
so
rises
but
up.
see,
Is it
so
cross-platform?
this is where it gets awkward, right? Is if I remember correctly, CS:GO isn't on any other platform. It's PC only.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you can't really compare that. And active
Hmm.
concurrent players depends on so much because it depends on the time period that you're basing it on and like the way that sales spikes work. Like for a while there, Elden Ring was breaking records with concurrent players. And then
Yeah.
obviously that tapered off. It still has a very high regular player base.
Yeah,
And
this is
so
them,
does
them
CS:GO.
comparing it to the peak. So their highest point was 1.8 million. So that's the highest that CS:GO ever got to.
Yeah, and
At
so
any one
like
point, sort of
that's
thing.
fine,
So,
but
Yeah,
it's such a deceptive metric because it's
It
a
is.
game that has
Yeah.
lived strong for like 11 years.
yeah. that's
Whereas
there are so many factors that can come into account with that. Like, even think about like the gamer explosion due to the pandemic. So like Baldur's Gate has a whole bunch more people. There's also a new generation of people who've come out with money to be able to buy stuff. Like when when CS:GO came out, there wasn't as many people with money willing to buy games and all that sort of stuff. Now there's a massive amount of more people who have consoles and PCs who can
CS:GO
play
was
games.
like 11, 12 years ago, so it was a while back.
Yeah,
I don't know how many people
that's
had
a
money
while
then.
back. That's what I mean. Like,
just because we didn't have
PC
money doesn't mean other
gaming-
people didn't have
yeah, but
money.
PC gaming is far more popular. It's also
Yeah.
not been something for what, like, I don't want to put a proper age bracket on it because that's unfair, and there are like 80-year-old grandmas killing it on Fortnite. But typically, like 2 generations above us were not as strong on gaming. Even 1 generation
Yeah,
above
we're
us
talking
as
10
we
years
are.
ago. That's not 2 generations unless you're talking like.
No, but you talk about
Wild
when
West times.
those.
okay, before Brady makes an idiot out of himself,
Yeah.
in 2018, so this was fucking 6 years after its release, CS:GO pulled in $414 million.
Damn,
Nice.
So
that's bullshit.
that's just a random year, 6 years after release. So I think CS:GO is a terrible metric because CS:GO is a competitive shooter. It has a full esports scene, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. That like you cannot do that sensibly. What they should have been doing is comparing it to something like perhaps Elden Ring or Divinity 2 or
Yeah.
even
Other AA
Skyrim, because
other
Skyrim
AAA
released on
titles
Steam.
Yeah, 100%. But
Yeah,
anyway,
other RPGs
yeah, so
at
that's
the very least,
that's my
not shooters.
pick of the articles, and you can see why it's very frustrating from top to bottom.
Yes, boy, because we didn't get
Well, we all
frustrated
found
at
it.
all listening to
No,
that.
No.
we didn't get pissed off with like the
Didn't
12
incite
words
conversation.
in the title at all. So I'm happy to have found that. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
So the other thing I did want to touch on before we go too
Ooh.
far away from what?
One thing I did want to touch on is our advertisement.
Today's episode of Basement Discourse is brought to you by Spencer & Son's Old-Fashioned Lawn Polish. Now available in 3 styles. High polish. Show those pesky kids that they aren't welcome on your lawn when they go sliding into the gutter. High sheen. Prove your superior lawn grooming prowess with a sheen so high it will literally blind anyone who looks at it. And green. It makes your grass so green, dogs see right through it. Spencer & Son's Old-Fashioned Lawn Polish.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
moving back to what I was going to discuss. So, the whole thing with Baldur's Gate 2 and 3 that you mentioned, Brady, how the guy's like, oh, I don't play it. Baldur's Gate 2 was like the game that everyone put their eyes on BioWare for, because BioWare made that. So that's the people behind Mass Effect and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, some of the greatest RPGs of all time from BioWare, all sort of started from Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2. So, like, there is a lot of history and a lot of reason that people should be like, I want to fucking play that game. And there is no reason to tell someone not to, except for me, I have a weird thing where if I come into a game way too late and it looks visually impaired and the controls are a bit clunky, I can find it really hard to get into it, and I don't appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah,
and so
what it was for its time and place.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
It's hard
and
to
I found
keep things in context sometimes when it comes to that. Like a good classic game isn't always good for the person trying to play it nowadays. I've shown my daughter a Nintendo 64 and she's like, my eyes.
That's
like,
completely
it just doesn't
fair.
work.
Yeah, I remember when Fallout 3 came out and everyone was like, oh, you've got to play Fallout 3. And I was like, what's Fallout 1? And I went and I got Fallout 1. And it took me a while. But once my eyes finally adjusted to it and I could sit there and enjoy it for what it was, it is hands down one of my all-time favorite games. I fucking adore Fallout 1. But I would never say to either of you guys, go play Fallout 1, because there is that disconnect and it can be really hard to get into because it pulls you away from it because it's so dated. And that's nothing against the game. The game is fantastic and was fantastic for its time. It's just it hasn't held up well. And that's just an unfortunate side effect.
Yeah, that's just time.
And speaking of time, it's time to move on to the next article.
Well, hang on. Just real quick while we're on that subject.
Nope, cut it. Talking about sales. Like, not like your article, Brady would... No, I can't even remember who brought up the CSGO article. But whatever, not like that. But I mean, like, it was too long ago. There was too many beans.
Like 5 fucking minutes
ago.
Dude,
there were beans involved. I got excited.
Beans were involved.
You know, I'm a man about beans. But anyway, so there was an article that was like, oh, all these classic RPG titles are $12 on Humble. Oh boy, you mean the website that literally does game bundles every fucking month is having a sale on a game bundle this month? Oh my god.
I love the ones that are like, hey, guess what? You can get these 3 random fucking games. Like, it's not like popular new games or big classic ones that everybody loves. It's just like 3 games that they pulled out of this site that does sales every fucking week.
Yep.
Yeah. And they're just like, yeah. Check out these 3 games you can get. And you're like, oh, I've never heard of
Turd Runner 3000.
Yeah.
It's just
Dog
a game where you
simulator.
gotta, like, run, you're a turd, and you're just like leaving like a slipstream behind you, and you got to try and make the furthest distance before you like wear yourself down to like ground out, like just turd run.
I was gonna say like a shitty athletic game, like fucking hurdles at the Olympics 2000.
Yeah, I mean that's
specifically the hurdles event.
But you're a poo.
That's it.
I'd play.
Why?
Dude, I've
played. That'd be great.
Dude, I've played Shower with Your Dad Simulator. Like I've been in all sorts of strange places.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a fucking
This is why
funny
you
game.
get ads like that shit, man. This is exactly why you get ads like that. They're like, this guy's obviously simple.
This is 100% why. It's just like...
This motherfucker needs a reminder the Humble Bundle has another sale. I know.
Yeah, that's fair. So another article I saw that was fucking stupid was on Polygon, and it was called "Vacuum Sealing Your Squishmallows Turns Them into Pokemon Jerky." You know what? Yes, vacuum sealing literally anything that is squishy will make it look all fucking sucked in and mangled. That's what vacuum sealing does. Have you never seen vacuum
seal? How big is their
seal?
vacuum sealer?
Or
did they just put them in a space saver bag or something?
Probably.
I bet
Yeah.
it was fucking space saber back.
Oh, 100%, because they're not going to even get that right in the fucking title. But yeah, that was a fucking stupid article. Like, why did you, like, who thought, fuck, I'll vacuum seal that? Oh my god, that's a very surprising result. If it said that if you vacuum sealed it, your dog's legs would explode, I'd be like, you know what? I didn't expect that. But making it look all sucked in and fucked up, that's exactly what I'd fucking expect from a vacuum seal. Like, Jesus fuck.
Next up, if you put bread in this electronic heater, it becomes toast.
It's fucking madness. I can't believe they've done that. They're even thinking about calling it kind of fucking toaster.
What? Marketing genius.
Jesus Christ.
Now, here's one that enraged me as much as Justin's article enraged him. New Armored Core 6 gameplay shows it isn't just mech souls. Now, if you guys don't know, Armored Core is made by FromSoft.
I know what it is,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's next from.
It's a mech game. It is the 6th in that series. Now, if you're any good at maths, you'd realize that there is more in that series than there are in all of the Soulsy stuff. Now, if the 6th is coming out, that would sort of imply that that series might be a little old, given there hasn't been one in quite a while. The series started in 1997. The first, Souls game was over a decade after that. It was like 2008, I think, Demon's Souls came out.
I feel like I played one of the very early Armored Cores.
Possibly.
Yeah,
I think I
feel
might
like
have.
I did too. Yep.
Maybe it was on like one of those fucking weird Australian demo discs.
Man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
played so
did
many terrible fucking mech games on that. But like, whatever. That's fine. Armored Core's its thing. But the fact that they even needed to write an article explaining that this game was not going to be like a Souls game when it is literally predated Souls games, and FromSoft have very strictly said, we don't give a fuck what people want or think, we do what we do. They just do their thing, and people eat that shit up. And that seems to be working for them, so of course that's what they're going to do.
Well, I think that's obvious in their selection. Like, if you look at the Souls-likes, or series, I guess, you got Dark Souls, but then you have Demon Souls, which is different for its specific kind of semi-political reasons. And then you've got
Sekiro.
Which is...
He says it wrong every time.
Which one you want. I don't care. Sekiro. But, like, it's very different.
Yes.
It's
I mean,
gorgeous.
they're all still
Not that the
Souls-likes,
others
but
aren't.
then, like, you know, Armored Core, like, it, you know, when you look at, like, you even look at any still shot of it, you know that motherfucker's not going to be rolling around trying to dodge attacks and shit. Like, you know?
When is it not encumbered?
Well, this is where it gets kind of interesting, right? Because Brady is sort of onto something for the first time in his life. Sekiro isn't really a Souls game. Like, if you actually play it, you will understand. It is uniquely different. Not in the way that, like, Bloodborne is a little bit different from the Souls games. This is Sekiro is a whole different beast. The similarities kind of stop at you use a sword to cut people. And Armored Core is sort of in that same vein. Yes, it's going to be horrifically difficult. That's sort of FromSoft's thing and has been for eternity. But it is still like a mech game, so the combat isn't going to work that way, and it's not intended to. And at no point would they ever do that. And yes, I totally get that people who are sort of new to this, like, FromSoft library might think new FromSoft game must be a new Souls-like. But even if you read the article, there are 3 full, like, 5-line paragraphs in the article, and at no point do they actually even prove that it's not going to be a mech Souls. In the first paragraph, it mentions that FromSoft have explicitly said that it wouldn't be, and then after that they just talk about what their expectations for the game is based on the trailer, which showed no gameplay.
Awesome.
And now, I've seen the videos because they brought a bunch of Souls streamers over to Japan or California or some fucking way to play the game. So I've seen what Armored Core looks like and all that. And you can tell that it's not just another Souls game. But this was released before any of those videos. And so they saw a trailer and the word from devs. And then they're like, all right, we can make a whole fucking article out of this, proving that it's not going to be a Souls game. Because, you know, when has a dev ever fucking lied to anyone? Don't remember a single time that ever happened. Todd Howard.
Not once.
But yeah.
You're actually onto something else there, just briefly, is that the amount of times I see a article that's like, our predictions, what we expect, where you can expect this story to go, what you can do in this game, and there's no fucking information yet, and all that the article is a recap of all the previous shit.
Yeah.
Whether it's previous games like prequels or whether it's
going to come up.
Yeah.
And then all that comes at the end is so you can be sure shit will happen.
Grand Theft Auto
with no actual
number
predictions.
7 is probably going to have some cars stolen. Woohoo!
No, it's that obvious shit in the last paragraph. That is exactly a good example. Like it's always like, oh yeah, so this fighter, you be punching people.
Yeah. So, like, there are several articles like that as well that I didn't even grab links for that are like, you know, what to expect from Street Fighter 6 or fucking whatever. And then it will be a recap of the trailer. Like, we already know that Street Fighter is quite literally just going to be a fighting game. Like, the game's already out now. And Street Fighter 7 will be out by the time Brady edits this. But, like, we already have an expectation of it. But all they do is they just recap the materials they have. It's like they just copy a press release and then release it like that's actual fucking journalism.
Yeah.
You know what?
These days, they don't even have to write it. They could probably just copy and paste it into ChatGPT and just be done.
Well, there's
just
actually...
be like, rewrite this as a prediction for the future of the game. I guarantee you I'd fucking get something out.
Oh, yeah, no, apparently AI is writing articles. But,
No
like,
doubt.
there was even a thing... A rapper that I listened to, Scroobius Pip, he actually mentioned that he really hated that people would basically rip off his own press releases about his albums. So instead of like saying, oh, you know, he's got an upcoming album and this is sort of what he's done previously and blah, 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 they literally just cut and paste his press release and just throw it out and they're like, yeah, this is an article. And it seems like they really do that so bad in games journalism as well. They see a trailer and they're like, oh, this is what happened in the trailer. You know what I want to see?
So fucking bad.
I want to see people like the fucking Souls nerds when the fucking Elden Ring DLC came out. They got one fucking picture and there was like 7 fucking 40-minute videos. And they're like, well, see, if you look at the braid along here, that makes me think that might be Mecha. You know what? That shit is fucking cool as fuck. If you can see a trailer and then you just like improv and you're like, I reckon this could be this and that could be that, I would 100% be more likely to read your article than, oh yeah, and then a man stepped off the boat and he fired a gun. Congratulations, I saw the same fucking trailer. Fuck you.
No, I like that a lot more. And I think it's more fun when people are looking for that shit. Like there were a few people who called the Spider-Man 3 the new Spider-Man, the No Way Home one, having the old 2 guys in it. Because apparently in the trailer there's a moment where he jumps at the enemies and one of them takes a fucking kick to the head, but it's not him, it's just air. So like they like shopped out one of the other dudes.
Fuck.
And we're like, yeah. But they forgot that he makes impact with one of them. Don't know. But I love that somebody spotted that and posted it. Like, I don't like the spoiler, I guess, but like games are a little different to movies, so that's fine, whatever. But I love that somebody saw that and was like, I reckon, based on the fact that guy's head turned in midair, that one of the old actors from 10 years ago is going to be in this.
Yeah, it couldn't possibly be that they brought in Miles
wild.
Morales or fucking anything,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
could have been anything else. But that's what they pulled out, and that's what turned out to be true. But, like, I think you're right. I prefer if they base it on something, pull out some wild predictions watching it, and if they're right or wrong, it's going to be fun. If they're wrong, it's usually, like, a cool wrong. And if they're right, it's like, fucking good on you.
Well, like, if you guys have
They
ever
just need to
seen...
grow some balls and actually, like, say something in an article.
Yeah,
instead of just
say
being
something
like,
fucking new.
Maybe something. It's just a bunch of fucking mumble rap going on in there. Like, say something and stand behind it. Have an actual
They're just
opinion.
doing a bunch of previously on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And then just,
exhausting.
we'll leave it up to you to decide. No, that's not what this article's about. You fucking tell me. I'm not telling you. All right, so I got
It better take-
ChatGPT to make me an ad, a write-up. I asked it to predict what GTA 6 was gonna bring.
Oh, what a brilliant way to
honestly-
finish this episode.
Honestly, it's actually not bad, but it still is exactly what you would expect from a gaming article.
Okay.
So it's
Throw it up.
long-winded. So
I'm ready.
I'm gonna throw you like the bits.
Give it-
so this
give
is
us the
definitely
meat
a
and spuds,
1200 word. This is definitely one of those 1200 word articles.
Yikes. All right,
as
give us the
anticipation-
shorthand.
Okay, I'll say it in the different voice. As anticipation continues to build around the highly anticipated release of Grand Theft Auto 6, gamers and industry experts alike are speculating about the potential groundbreaking features and innovations that the game could bring to the table. So, then it's given me like some points. So, 1, expanded map and realism. Most exciting aspects of GTA 6 is the potential for an even more expansive and realistic open world map.
That's a safe pick.
Yeah, it is a safe bet, yeah.
They've
Dynamic
literally done it
NPC
every single
interactions.
release since 3. The
Yeah,
map has gotten
they've
bigger.
just gotten bigger.
That's
the
as
thing
vague
that
a call as saying the next Spider-Man movie will have a guy who climbs walls.
and shoots webs.
It's a cowboy
Dynamic
with a
NPC
fucking rope.
interaction. GTA 6 may push the boundaries of artificial intelligence, offering a more dynamic and lifelike population of NPCs. Okay. Yep.
That doesn't seem unreasonable either.
No.
No.
Number 3, innovative VR integration. Virtual reality technology has come a long way since the last GTA. It's possible that Rockstar could explode and explore VR integration.
That's not unrealistic because they did
Yeah.
release the first person add-on for
Yeah,
GTA
exactly,
5 about
for GTA
a
5.
year after.
Yeah.
No, wait, it came out with the PC release, if memory serves. It was fucking awful and I did not enjoy it, but this seems like a reasonable progression.
Speaking of awful and not enjoying it, the next one is evolving multiplayer experience. GTA Online has been a massive success for Rockstar Games, and GTA 6 could take the multiplayer experience to new heights.
Yeah, it'll cost
True,
even more
it'll
money.
be the same shit. Yeah, it'll be fucking more microtransactions. Emphasis on player choices and consequences. Rockstar Games is known for its compelling narratives, and GTA 6 could take player choices and consequences to a new level. So it's saying stuff, but it's also not saying stuff, and it's all the things that
Yeah,
you
it's saying
know
nothing.
already.
And I love that everything is a could.
Yeah,
Could.
it's all could.
It
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
That is exactly every
I think it's
gaming
also-
article I've read.
ChatGPT is also standing behind it's like it can't tell you what it actually thinks because it's exactly what these motherfuckers are. It's completely indecisive and it can't stand behind its own beliefs. So
Yeah.
they basically, like, these fuckers can be replaced with this immediately because this article is no better or worse than anything else that I've read in the recent years. So
Well, like, so don't get me wrong, there are some websites out there that do quite good games journalism. Like, especially stuff like The Escapist, Rock, Paper, Shotgun do the odd good article, stuff like
Basement Discourses, YouTube.
that. Yeah, because we do a lot of fucking journalism. Have you fucking heard
journalism?
my opinions? They're awful.
yeah, he's got way too much of an opinion to be a journalist.
Yeah.
Although I will stand right behind the Escapist and say, if I want something definitive, I will go to that immediately. And I think 9.5 times out of 10, I 100% agree with what he said about everything in the Escapist. So anything they say, he says, I pretty much go with it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right, actually.
Yeah, well, especially if it's like zero punctuation. I fucking love
Yeah,
his
that's
shit.
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's
Yahtzee is so blunt and brutal about everything that even if he absolutely shits all over a game, you can tell if it's good by the end of it. And
Yeah.
that's a good way of like doing journalism, and it's such a unique approach to it instead of just like generic cut and paste fucking AI scripted bullshit. So I guess the key takeaway from today's episode is fuck all journalism except the good stuff.
Yeah. And if you're gonna say
Seems
something,
entirely fair.
fucking stand behind it. That's what I think. You know,
In
if you're gonna
2023,
say-
don't read games journalism except the good games journalism.
Yeah, read that.
Yeah. And stop writing your articles the same way people write recipes online with
Oh
the
my
history
God.
behind
Oh,
everything.
The
Fucking neck
backstories.
me now. The only good thing they ever did was make that button that says jump to recipe.
No.
I don't give a fuck
Best
about
thing
your
ever
life
is
story.
a website called Just the Recipe. You go to that
That's the
and you
best
paste in the
website ever.
recipe thing and it cuts the fucking life story out.
Nice.
Yeah.
The
It's
I don't know
dream.
how they
absolute
do
best.
it, man. That's a huge task to write something that long every time. I'm gonna make some cookies today. Back in 1952, when I was 14
So the history
years
of
old.
flour.
Yeah. What the fuck, man? You gotta be a creative piece of shit to be
No,
able to do that
you
for every
don't.
They
They probably
you
get
don't.
AI to write that. Like, write me a backstory for my recipe.
Hey AI, I need to do buttered toast. Help a brother out. Alright, now
fuck
on
this.
that buttery ending, we're out. Thank you all for watching. Please do the things like, subscribe, comment, tell us how correct we are about all the people who are incorrect about games and everything gaming related, and follow us on everything, because
Literally.
we respond, unlike those piece of shit people who don't.